Hi, I'm Bingo, and this is Tarek Knox, and we are Ask Vodka Juicebox.
Our guest today is Dylan Peay. He is a PhD candidate in neuroscience. How are you doing, Dylan?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Very good, man. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we're really interested by your questions because both you and Bingo have had experiences with seizures, and as well as you being a PhD candidate in neuroscience. So before we get to your first question, the first thing I'd like to ask you is, how would you define neuroscience?
I would define neuroscience really just as the study of really the brain and everything that the brain really does for us, which is everything from our behavior to things that we don't even notice in terms of just our physiology and our stress response and a lot of these things.
So let's get to your first question.
So I recently had my first 2 seizures. This was a little bit over a week ago now, and I'm still kind of recovering, still trying to get back into my zone kind of. And I was just wondering how long personally for you, Bingo, how long does it take you to feel like yourself again after having a seizure?
Okay, so in November of 2016, my big seizure, I had a traumatic brain injury, went into a coma, and that one, it took months and months to feel like myself again. And a lot of that, I had a lot of memory loss. So I didn't even remember who I was. I couldn't remember. You asked me my favorite song, my favorite band, favorite movie, favorite anything. Had no clue. I did not know. But now I'm still missing detail, but I know who I am.
Okay.
There was a point where I was like, I do know who I am. It was a beautiful day. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Because it is difficult to, I'm still starting to try to feel like myself again, but I think maybe I'm worried that maybe I never will. It's not really a worry, like I'm fine with it, but maybe just it does kind of just that experience, maybe that experience might just change you forever kind of.
It's true, it might. It's not something anybody can tell you. I can't tell you, you're going to be okay, you're going to remember. I don't have the information.
Yeah.
But it's scary as fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a wild ride. It's a wild ride. So kind of changing directions, maybe a little bit more, like lighthearted, but I was just wondering, so because I've apparently said some crazy things after I was recovering, as I was recovering from my seizure. So I was wondering if you have heard anything that you've said that's kind of funny or crazy after you've, like immediately after a seizure, as you're kind of coming to.
Okay. Well, how I would answer this is Stanhope's mother's last words before she took her life was, there's times to be dainty and there's times to be a pig. And my first words out of the coma, not so eloquent, was, I have to pee. That's what it was. I wish it was something great. I mean, everybody was waiting on me to say something, and it was, I have to pee.
That is funny. See, I kind of took care of that. Yeah, when I had mine, I already had pizza. I woke up in bed in my own urine, so that was an experience in itself.
Okay.
So were you alone when that happened to you?
I was in bed with my girlfriend. She saw me having one in the middle of the night. It was like 3 a.m. and she got me the help that I needed. But I remember waking up to paramedics and just laying in my own urine in bed.
And did you have like any recollection of what had happened? Was it, or did you just like, is it like fainting and then all of a sudden people are picking you up and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, it was zero recollection. I just woke up to strangers talking to me, asking me when my birth date was, what day it is, and just
Yeah,
trying to scramble for answers because I didn't want to
yeah.
seem like I didn't know, but I really had no idea.
Let me ask you, how did you feel? Were you like freaked out, or were you just like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, I was definitely freaked out because I'm usually a pretty in control person, I would say. And then that was the first time that I really had just zero control of anything. So
It's
yeah,
so
definitely.
confusing.
Yes.
So I just should add, the second thing I said was, where's the blow? And I will explain why I said that. I fell, it was my 40th birthday party, and I was partying. Of course there was fucking blow, but
Exactly.
I was wondering where the blow was in the hospital.
And that's another story entirely.
That's another, well, that's something you clearly can't do. Uppers on with seizures don't work. It doesn't work. So it's just not an option ever again. But that's something I said.
Yeah, it's wild. And then apparently after my second, I had my second one. This was 7 hours after my first. So this was about 10 a.m. I was released from the hospital. They did a CT scan, thought everything was all good. And then I had another one in my kitchen. So apparently I got up from the couch, started trying to eat pieces of paper towel as I was drinking from the sink. And
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
then I went down in the kitchen.
I imagine you normally do not do that.
Yeah, I haven't done that one before. It's not one of my favorite pastimes, but
I gotta tell you too, when I came to from the coma, the other thing that was going on is stand-up was there, of course. And the election was right when I went into the coma. So every day, because I have no memory whatsoever, every day when I came to, stand-up would come into the room and say, bingo, who's president? And I would always say, Hillary. And then he'd show me this magazine that it was Trump. And I'd flip out every time, every single day. I mean, stand-up did this to me over and over and over. There's video of it. It's funny. I probably didn't think it was funny at the time, but that's stand-up for you, though.
Next, I was wondering, so again, this is all so new to me. And I once thought I had more confidence in doctors than I do at this moment. So I was just wondering, how do you think that, do doctors actually really know what they're doing or help in terms of seizures? Because I just, as a neuroscientist, I know that we know so little about the brain. Correct. So I was just wondering, how doctors have helped you, if they have at all.
Okay, well, I can start with no doctor has cured me. That's a fact. Seizure doctors might mean well, but don't know what they're talking about. So you have 3 doctors with different diagnoses, and you don't know who's right and who's lucky. So, but I am on a medication. A doctor put me on a medication, seems to be doing well. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
And seems to be doing well in terms of you haven't had any seizures recently?
It has been about 4 years, except for, was it 4 nights ago?
Maybe even less. Yeah, I'd say within the last 3 days.
Okay, maybe 3 nights ago. We were in the studio and I took a tumble. So I hit my head on the sink. It was in the bathroom. And the thing of it is, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't on anything. So the only logical explanation is I had somewhat of a seizure and fell. But we'll never know.
Right.
I've had a million EEGs. You will too. Get ready. Get ready for them.
Yep.
But there's no explanation. And so, I mean, there's really no reason to go to a doctor right now. I'm okay today. I'm okay today. And they can't tell me if it was a seizure or not. I just imagine it probably was.
Right. And at least it wasn't as severe as some of your prior. That's, I
Yeah,
think, the
exactly.
big thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what discipline in science is supposed to, where do seizures fall under? Is that under neuroscience?
It's neurology. So neurologist is who, like, you go and see a neurologist, but yeah, neuroscientists we try to study. So like I use preclinical models. That's really where my research is. So with rodents, and as you can imagine, rodents are quite different than humans, just in terms of in everything, in every kind of capacity. So we, as neuroscientists, we try to model the human condition, but and I'm quickly realizing how limited our abilities are in terms of that. Yeah, and so yeah, this is just in general.
Okay.
Do seizures scare you? Like, do they scare you? Since you've had such a long kind of experience with them, do they
Okay.
still scare you?
The answer is absolutely. They scare the piss out of me, but so does lightning and drunk driving. You can't go through life worrying about things you can't control.
It's really helpful. So like, yeah, like life is scary. So this is
Yeah,
just
it
another
is.
kind of part of life.
Yeah, it's another part of it, babe.
And would you say the longer that you've gone without having a seizure, the more confident you are, or the less fear plays a role in your life?
That's absolutely true.
Okay. And so you've had 2 seizures in 1 week?
2 within 7 hours. So I
Within
had one
7
at
hours.
3 a.m. and then I had another, and this was, yeah, it was about 9 or so days ago now. But and then I had another at like 10 a.m. apparently, and then so because they were so close.
So far, they've gotten nothing for you. They've got no explanation.
Yeah, I spent a night in neurological hospital, and yeah, they did the EEGs, multiple MRIs. They found little bits of things that they're like, hey, this shouldn't be there in your brain, but nothing that they can say.
No explanation.
Exactly, no cause or anything. So they're saying, hopefully I don't have another, and if I do, then I'll be diagnosed with epilepsy. That's pretty much there.
Okay, and you'll have another EEG. My question to you is, I've had different kinds of EEGs. I've had a ton of them, but did they give you the strobe lighty thing at the end?
Yep,
okay, so I need to tell you this. I was talking about you to the crew at the fun house, and some people thought it would be funny to have a strobe light going in the background for the both of us. Not funny at all.
Is that a good idea? Would that
not
be funny
at all?
Yeah,
maybe for the audience. I don't know.
That would be helpful.
We did not do that. There are no strobe lights coming at you. So, but that strobe light, the only way I can describe it, it's incredible. I love that part because the best I can explain it, it's like tripping on mushrooms without the body high. And so I love getting my EEGs. I just forget the questions, forget the things in my head, whatever. Just give me that strobe light. Let's go. It's so fun.
Yeah, I thought it was, that's a highlight of my time in the hospital for sure. How long have you had seizures in general? Like, when was your first seizure that you've ever had, Bingo?
Okay, so I did not have seizures growing up.
Okay.
This was definitely as an adult a number of years ago. And I had seizures very sporadically for about 2 years. And then I had gone about 4 years without any. Except for 4 days ago, whatever happened. Again, we'll never know.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things that I do. I'm very diligent about taking my medication, which is oxcarbenzapine.
Okay.
So I take that. It's a hefty dose of it. And I'm also on the keto diet. and have been on the keto diet for about when I got out of the coma. And I haven't had a seizure except for 4 days ago, but the whole time being on the keto diet.
Do the meds have any side effects? It's also something that I was wondering, because I may at some point be put on meds, and it's
Sure.
a concern. Yeah.
I'm on a hefty dose of mental illness medication. I suffer from a pretty severe mental illness, schizoaffective bipolar, and so I'm on a lot of medication there. Those have side effects. I never really experienced any side effects from the seizure medication. So it's one of those things where it's going to treat everybody differently.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would do to you. I don't know what they would put you on, or if you will be put on anything, but you just have to go for it. Check it out for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. That's helpful. Definitely helpful.
Yeah.
So going through what you went through, are you taking any medication right now, or are you like, is this something that what's the thought process?
Yeah, so actually, because my two seizures were so close together, they kind of classify them as one event. So they're saying I only had one, even though I had two.
Yeah.
So so their thought is they give me like a 3-month period, and if I don't have another one for 3 months, then chances are I may go a long time without having one.
Okay.
So that's really the hope. And then if I do have another one, then that's when the epilepsy diagnosis happens, and then they figure out the meds. Yeah.
And that's the scary thing, is you can't count on it. You just don't know. There's no way to know. They have no way to tell you.
Exactly. Yeah, the big thing, when I got sent home from the
scary.
hospital the first time, I thought I was fine, and then I woke up from a
Happened
nap,
again.
and then happened right again. Yeah, and this time I
Yeah.
went down. So my girlfriend luckily was there both times, so she.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was huge.
What are you supposed to do if someone is having a seizure? Did they go over that with you?
They went over it more with my girlfriend, I think, but yeah, definitely. I know you're supposed to like not move the person if they're, because I was like foaming at the mouth a bit. So like,
Yeah.
if it looks like they're choking, you tilt them to the side, that kind of thing. And then just make sure there's nothing around them that they can bash their head into.
Right.
And then for me, I'm not allowed to drive, not allowed to go on ladders. Not like that's something I ever
God.
did.
It's such
Wow, that is a huge lifestyle change.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It really is.
So do you have, where you're at, do you have like good public transportation?
And my girlfriend, my biggest support system, is she is taking care of the driving duties now. But yeah,
dope,
always Uber and all that. Like, we just recently got a car. We're from Philadelphia originally, so we did the public transit, and then we moved out here to Arizona, and definitely need a car.
You got someone good behind you.
Yeah, amazing.
That's excellent.
Very cool, man. So do you have another question?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, Bingo, like I've gone a lot over kind of my support system. So like, what's your support system for these kind of seizures? And I know it's because it's just so hard for outsiders to really understand, because it's scary for them too. I know my girlfriend, it's very scary for her. So
yeah, yes. And I would say what I talked to you about earlier, I would say sticking to the medication. The keto diet, really, the thing about the diet and the medication, I'm not going to say I don't have seizures because of the keto diet or only because of the medication, but something's working, and I will do all of it. I will do everything to help myself. And the other thing is, like your girlfriend, friends and family, there were just a lot of good people that put Humpty Dumpty back together again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That would be my support system right there.
And so, Bingo, do you have any triggers or anything that like you can think of that brings on seizures or anything? Is there like anything that you can kind of, any way you can tell that you're having or might have a seizure?
Might have a seizure.
Yeah.
I love this question. There are no triggers that I know of. I have zero idea when I'm about to have a seizure, absolutely nothing. There's no smell, no sight, no aura, no anything. There is nothing. It happens out of nowhere. I have little memory of it. That's what happens for me. And for you, did you have any kind of a sign?
I had no, yeah, that's the thing. It's like very similar to you, where zero sign. I had zero memory either time of having it. I woke up and then the paramedics are asking me questions and I'm saying
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I'm just scrambling for answers. I said my girlfriend was my mom. I said I was at my company.
It's very confusing.
My apartment was my company. Yeah, it's like, I was so confused.
Yeah. I just have nothing. Never have had
and then
anything.
Yeah, the doctors are asking me, oh, like what was my aura? Yeah, exactly. Like what smells did I? And there's nothing at all.
You say what was your aura?
Yeah, that's something that they mentioned to me that I wasn't familiar with before, but there's apparently—
I've been asked that too.
Yeah, some people have like a sense of like a weird feeling that something's weird is going on, and then that's like they know that they're gonna have a seizure, but nothing for me.
Enough time to sit down and get into bed and cover up, but there's nothing.
I've had panic attacks before. They kind of come out of nowhere. I can only imagine what you're going through right now.
And it seems like doctors have zero expertise too. The more that I talk to them, they're kind of just like, yeah, we don't know what causes them half the time. It's really just we put people on meds and cross our fingers that it works.
So
I think it's more than half the time. I don't think they know shit about shit.
I agree.
So are these the experts that are like, we still don't know?
Yes, these are the doctors that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this exact thing, and then they're throw their hands up in the air and they're like, yeah.
Shit.
The brain is a crazy thing.
You're a PhD candidate. So has your experience with the seizures that you've had shaped where you're going to be focusing that towards?
Yeah, definitely. I'm much more, so as I said, I do preclinical research right now, and that's really, I'm more and more under, that's really just so I can get that piece of paper that is that degree that says I'm a professional, and then I can really, because I really want to help people. That's my biggest thing that I really want to do. So anyway, the closer I can get to a clinical population, the closer that I can get to really trying to understand these things. And maybe if I'm just the expert that tells people, hey, we really don't know, because I wish the doctors would tell me more of that as opposed to trying to give me answers that are really just kind of BS, you know?
Just be straight up with you.
Exactly.
If it's, I don't know, just tell me you don't know.
Yeah, just tell me instead of trying to give me an answer. Put me on the
medication that you have to put me on, whatever. Just tell me you don't know. Yeah.
I find a lot of people are invested in being experts, and they kind of lose that real curiosity of like, or have a hard time saying, I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah. It's an ego thing, I think, for sure, where they just get their heads so up in the clouds, and then when they're talking to us regular people, they kind of want to remain the expert instead of kind of bringing them down to our level in a way.
It's crazy that you're going through what you're going through, but if I ever had a seizure in the future and I was actually speaking to a doctor that has gone through that or is going through that, that would be incredibly comforting, because I would know that that person knows what I'm going through. And I feel like that person, that doctor, would be much more inclined to be honest. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I wish I could find a doctor that is like that. Hopefully someday I will, you know.
Hey, maybe all I gotta say is good fucking luck, my friend. You find that doctor, you giving me his name and number
exactly.
or hers, and I'm there.
Do we got another question, Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing I was wondering, Bingo, so they brought this up to me again, this idea of one-off seizures where
Uh-huh.
people kind of have a seizure and then never have one again. And they're kind of hoping that I'm in that boat. But
Yes.
I'd never heard of that before in my experience. So I'm just wondering, have you heard of someone having just one seizure and then never again? Because I'm hoping that's real, but I'm not
Yes.
sure if it's Dr. BS.
I have heard of that happening. I had never heard of the term. But I've never met anyone of the like. I've never met anybody who's had just one. Maybe I've met you, and here we go. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know anybody.
Yeah, because it's just interesting to me that they are saying this, and I'm just not sure if they're just trying to buy themselves time before
Right.
I have another, that kind of thing. Interesting. One of my mentors at school, she had an experience in grad school, kind of similar to me, where she did say she had a seizure in one, not like my two, but she did say she had one and then never had one again. But again, I'm not too sure. Just in terms of the details, we know how different each seizure can be. Like Bingo, you said your most recent was likely not as severe as some of your prior.
Exactly.
What types of seizures do you have, Bingo?
As you know, I mean, they can take a bazillion different forms. I've had a seizure before with a friend where we were in the car and I just slumped over. And I was unresponsive for a while, a few minutes. And the doctor said, yes, that is a seizure, but I didn't seize up and shake around.
Okay.
So seizures can just take many different forms.
Yeah.
And I think most of mine have been different. Again, I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what's scary with, just not knowing what kind of form they're going to take. Because it seems like the ones that I've had, as far as what I've heard, because again, I don't remember anything either. But yeah, I
Right.
went down pretty hard in the kitchen. So if I was on something like steps or anything, that would not be great.
Yeah, I was on just 3 steps, but it's amazing what you can
It's
do
enough.
off 3 steps. I hit right.
Yeah, another thing, just like, is this something that I should worry about? We kind of talked about it earlier in terms of like, is this something that you're afraid of? But like, is this something I should worry about and like alter my life? Or should I just kind of keep living? And like, I know you've made these like changes in terms of diet and things like that. And it
Uh-huh.
seems like they've been really impactful.
I think you have to find your own personal balance because
Okay.
you are unique. You are different from me. We both have seizures, but they're very different. You have to find your own personal balance. And I worry just enough to stick to the keto diet and to take my medication every day. But I'm not any longer afraid to walk out of the front door. And I
Okay.
was for years.
Is there, so like, what about things like, so like, I'm a huge fan of you and Stanhope, and also a
Yeah.
fan of alcohol.
Yes.
Are there things like that should I like be concerned about drinking, or should I be concerned about, I also smoke pot, should I be concerned about smoking pot? Or these are things that
That
were once a big part of my life that I would be sad to see them go.
I understand that. I'm not a doctor. I can't answer those questions for you. I can answer for me, uppers, cocaine, that's done and
That's a no-no.
gone. That's not something I can do. And it was easy to give up.
Yeah.
Marijuana, I don't know.
Okay.
Alcohol, I don't know. Speaking of alcohol, I don't know, but I'm gonna try it out right now.
What's that
I
you're
feel
drinking?
good.
I'm drinking a vodka soda splash of OJ.
Very nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
You got
Cheers,
some
you.
vodka right here.
Like, have you ever like had an adverse experience to an upper, like two blow or anything like that? Like where you just knew, like, did you ever have like a seizure after you had like some uppers or anything like that? Or you just know that that's something that you'll stay
I
away
did
from?
have, clearly I had a seizure after an upper for sure, but I had seizures with nothing.
Okay.
And I was honest with my doctors and they said, well, we really just don't know. That's something that you should not do, having a seizure condition.
Right.
But I just stay away from that shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
But in terms of like your cocktail choice, do you usually stick with a keto cocktail?
I do. I just had a keto shake with vodka in it. Staying healthy.
You are very serious about your keto. Like you stick to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it just because I would like to never have one again.
With the medication and the keto diet, that's when I stopped having seizures. So whatever the fuck it is, I'm going to do them both. It's not too much of a sacrifice to not have seizures.
So is the keto diet recommended to you when you had your seizure?
Yes.
And did that come from a doctor or a friend or someone that has experienced seizures
It came
before?
from someone who had experienced seizures, and then I talked to the doctors about it. I had to bring it up to the doctors, and they said, yes, this has been very helpful with epilepsy. And we don't know what you have yet, or maybe we never will, but they say I don't have epilepsy. I just have random seizures.
Okay.
But who fucking cares? We lay on the ground and shake. It's scary. And
So do you know other people who have seizure condition? Like, is it, because that's something that, like, I don't know. I really know no one else that has this kind of condition. So that's why the more people I talk to, they're just kind of like, they throw their hands up just like the doctors. And I think it would be cool to know more people that kind of go through this, just because it'll help it make it less scary.
I don't have any close friends that have seizures, but just 2 days ago, there was a party down the street. Our neighbors had a party. And I was talking about you, actually, and I was telling Stanhope about the new podcast. Someone was listening, and she pulled me off to the side and said she suffered from epilepsy and MS, and she was so happy that people were going to be talking about it.
That's awesome.
So some people come up to me, usually through Stanhope, and they know I've had seizures before. So I get that on a regular basis, but friends, someone to talk to about it on a regular basis, I don't have. Yeah.
And I know how helpful that could be, because when I was having my panic attacks and I didn't know what the hell was going on, I was like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack right now, because that's exactly what it felt like. When I did find someone that went through the same exact thing, it was incredibly comforting. It's like, okay, well, you're still here. That's good.
Nobody has to come up with answers for anybody else. It's just to be able to relate to someone. And the woman I was talking to was telling me how she was taught to fall. And she was so tall, and she was trying to tell them, you got to give me a different way. I'm way taller than everybody else. I fall way further than everybody else. Come on, help me out. So it's nice to just be able to relate to someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And just like thinking about the panic attacks, because another thing that they mentioned to me was stressful life events can also bring on seizures.
Yeah, I've been told.
Yeah, so I think
Definitely.
I don't think the panic attack and seizure thing is as disjointed or disconnected as we think. I think they're kind of one in just how our brains react to this external kind of life stress. And some people, it may come out as a panic attack, and some people, they just might drop. Should I ask the final question?
Oh, let's do it.
So yeah, a really big question I had, Bingo, was just how, in what ways, if at all, how have the seizures and the TBI really affected your creative process, or, and yeah, when as you're making music, do they impact that, or are you able to kind of just continue with your creative process as if they never occurred?
This is an excellent question. I struggled I struggled with this harder than any other thing with that seizure that I went into the coma. It was music related. After I came out of the coma, I had to relearn how to walk, how to speak, how to play, how to sing again. And I was violently intubated and had a trachea.
I remember that.
Yeah, so my vocal cords were just fucked. I did so much speech therapy, and I'm okay. I'm okay now. But I will never sing like I did on my record, my solo record. I will never sing like that again. The creative process, I think the memory loss gets me the hardest. Stringing words together is so difficult every day. And that's on paper and in conversation. I really struggle with it. And I was told by a doctor, he came to my house actually after I was home. And this doctor came to visit me, and he talked to me about the memory loss. And he said, you know what, to be honest, as your doctor, you don't remember the ugliest shit you would never want to remember. Count yourself lucky there. And he also said, you have relearned how to play, not like you did before, but you have learned how to sing again, not like you did before. Basically, you're alive. I'm alive. So fuck it. I'm doing the best I can. I still sing. I still play.
Still sound
I'm
amazing.
okay.
Yeah, I've seen you grow so much as a singer just in the last, what, 5 months?
Yeah, 5-6 months.
Yeah. Like you've definitely, I've seen you like go through your own process of working things out. And even though you don't sound exactly like you used to sound before, you still sound amazing, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
have seen a lot.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there are infinite possibilities within your own limitations. So it's always an opportunity to explore what you can do with what you now have, you know? And that could be an exciting journey, you know, and that could surprise the shit out of you every once in a while.
Well, Dylan, do you have anything else? Because we're excited to introduce something if you're ready for us.
Yeah, let's introduce it.
Okay. So speaking of, this all is inspired by your last question. And we're going to play for you a song we wrote called We're All Here Now. And this is the first song that Vodka Juicebox wrote and recorded together way after the big seizure and the coma and all that bullshit. It's an unreleased song. And again, I can't sing like I used to, but I can sing like me now. And I'm just thrilled to be alive.
For sure.
Yeah, so this is the first song that we actually wrote together from start to finish. And like Bingo just said, it is unreleased, but based on everything that we discussed today and the questions that you sent us, we felt like it would be the most appropriate thing to play. So I thank you for you to be able to come on this podcast and put yourself in a vulnerable situation with everything you're going through right now is giving a lot of other people strength that are probably in the same shoes that you're in.
Yeah.
So much respect to that, man.
Thank you both so much for this opportunity. Yeah, it's been so insightful just to hear from someone else that's been going through this, and even with you, Tarek, with these panic attacks, and just people that have gone through some bullshit in life and
Yes.
are just making it through it. And that's really, really inspirational. Thank you both.
Okay, one last thing. Can you grab your support system and bring her in the shot?
Yes, I can.
Can you do that?
Will do.
Okay. And I thought I was done.
Wait, who's the support system?
Yeah, this is the whole family. Yeah.
This is a whole family.
It's very nice to meet you. What's your name?
Maddie, nice to meet you too.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for taking care of that Dylan of ours.
Oh, I know.
Saving my life.
Yeah, wonderful.
Dylan's a great dude and a very lucky man.
Yes.
Yeah, super, super lucky.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I'm lucky too, but yeah, he's lucky to be alive.
Hey, you guys, and we're gonna end this and play you out with "We're All Here Now."
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
y'all,
you.
take care.
Take care.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
We ate a mushroom and made some friends. Tired of talking like someone's always listening. We open the door, but we're not here anymore. My head's leaning back, tears they trail down my cheeks, into my ears where the saplings speak. Riddles of dictum, rousing the shine. The egg is an ornament, we're clasping the handle. I opened the door, but I'm not here anymore. I opened the door, but I'm not here anymore. So much more to pull from now. We don't have to stress. Seeing the world for the first time as a part of our thing.